Hi guys, so it's week 8 and we're talking about our own self-care plan. Me personally, I need self-care way more often than this time to time, at least weekly, or I might lose my mind. Self-care for me helps me maintain my equilibrium and not be in a state of I just can't handle everything. It allows me to function normally, which is always a plus. Self-care also allows me to complete tasks in a positive, good attitude type of way and enjoy the moment where I am and when I'm with family or friends or by myself. It also helps me maybe not plan as much, which is really difficult for me. 5 warning signs for me are waking up in the middle of the night repeatedly, which I've done a lot recently. More emotional. I could cry at a drop of a hat. I can't focus as well completing tasks, especially when I'm reading notes or trying to really understand important information. And feeling of loneliness, a kind of Eeyore type mood. I wouldn't say it's depressed at all, but it's just kind of like a woe is me. And then I have thoughts I'd rather just not really do anything. I'd rather just sit at home, which is totally not my personality at all. So the self-care strategies I use are running, which all of you know, gardening and yard work, which all of you also know, going to the hot springs, which is amazing. Everyone should go to the springs in Idaho City. Singing and dance parties at the most random times are the best. Church, which is a huge part of my life. Family and friends time. And Netflix. Nothing can ever go wrong when you're vegging out on Netflix for, 2 or 3 hours a day. We are asked to have 3 people to call. I have more than that, so I'm sorry. But my parents, which are obviously my biggest supporters, but they're also the people that can tell me that I'm being completely irrational and completely crazy. And I don't always like hearing that, but they're always right. So it's good to get me right back on track of where I need to be. Alex, Kelly, and Maddie, they're a huge support system and help with my anxiety, whether it be with a glass of wine or walking or taking me somewhere to do something, but they're good self-care advocates for me and helpers. They hold me accountable for everything, which also includes self-care. And they've been my lifelines over the past few years when stuff has really hit the fan. Nathan, he's a fellow social work student at Boise State, and we've known each other for, 10 plus years now. And so he understands the social work field and kind of what I could be experiencing. And so he's very empathetic and a huge support for me going through this whole program and continuing on into my work field. So positive things to say. It took me a little bit to think of them because I don't necessarily think when I'm thinking about the positive things. So I had to write them all down as they came to my mind. But one is just take 1 minute and one task at a time. That's all you can do. You can't do 5,000 things at once. The best one is God doesn't ever throw something my way that I can't handle. And I truly believe that, even though sometimes I feel like I'm melting down. But I know somehow I can get through it. And today is a good day to have a great day. And prioritize. It's okay if the whole list doesn't get done, which is super difficult for me to comprehend and do, but I know it's very important for me in my self-care not to worry about if things don't get done. And life isn't all that bad, and you're the best Mallory that you know, which is so true. Who to avoid, so for me is any exes. I have emotional ties to people, so if I were to reach out to an ex if something was wrong, that just would not bode well at all for any individual. Other than that, I really could not think of someone else to avoid. I mean, maybe someone who isn't really a true friend and can tell me when I'm in the wrong and they'll just support my craziness. I don't know. That's the only other type of individual I thought. But my support group is so solid that I really don't have anyone I wouldn't turn to. What to avoid? Sad rom-coms. They don't help your mood. You just cry some more. Doing nothing. I don't not need to do nothing. I always need to be doing something. Having the thought of woe is me, my whole life is awful. Well, guess what? That's not the case. I'm probably better off than 90% of the people in the world. And too much wine, because wine then also makes you more emotional, which then makes you also make stupid choices sometimes. So a glass or 2 is great, but drowning your sorrows in a lot of alcohol is never a good thing. 3 places to go to help with my self-care where I'm, at peace and carefree is McCall in the Mountains and also Ocean Isle Beach, North Carolina. To my garden, it's like a zen